say the intro again, yeah. Ready?
Matt, you should just talk while everyone else is talking.
That's what I was trying to do. But
You did a great job, actually.
Yeah.
Hello, we are Distances. We're from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and my name is Dylan James, and I am the lead singer of the band.
I'm DJ, I play bass.
I'm Zach, I play guitar.
I'm Shane, I play guitar too.
And I'm Maddie, and I play drums.
It's been a hard transition because we lost our manager / guitar player Florian Meyer. He moved back to Germany, so that was a tough little change for us. So
because he basically did everything in the band.
Flo was a huge part of that. It was definitely a big change for us to like to be organized, and like he was a backbone of the band. So but we found Shane, and because he's good friends with Zach and he plays in a band with Zach, so it was good to know Shane was up for it, because we know Shane and we knew Shane, and we knew he was a good guitar player, so we knew he could bring his skill to the table. So but since then we've had a few shows, we've tried to write some new music, and but I think the big thing was to find a solid foundation and then kind of grow from that. We definitely have talked about a tour like in the next year coming up, like maybe March or April. We have some dates that we want to try and put together. But that's about it. Like just try and get some shows going, write some new music, maybe put out an EP at some point. But nothing, no solid like plans at the moment. But we have some shows planned. But that's about it.
And we're doing lots of writing too.
Yeah.
Flo and I'm also a semi-new member, so. The other two guys that were in the band before Shane and I were definitely big songwriters, so it took us a little while to hit our stride with songwriting, but we're doing a lot of that as well.
Yeah, realistically, like there's two guys that wrote Peaks and Valleys that are sitting here, and it's these two individuals in the middle. And I just came on originally just a tour, and then ended up playing drums on the record. And I mean, we wrote some like cool vocal parts and stuff.
And I think it's a big thing when new members come into the band, and especially when there's really one original member. But it's because when you find new members, especially when the songwriters who were like the main songwriters of the band aren't in the band anymore, but these guys can write music, but it's just like you have to find like such a big part of finding new members and being in a band is the songwriting. So you need to find people who you can write music with and do it well and enjoy it, I think. So it's gotta happen naturally, right? So yeah.
I think lyrically it's still the same, because like when we got to the studio in Vancouver to record Peaks and Valleys, half the songs didn't even have lyrics. So when Flo was recording guitar tracks, Dylan and I was in a separate room together, like writing the lyrics. And then like when it came to the time of us recording vocals, we had everything ready, and we developed a formula, and I think we still use it to this day. So yeah.
And Maddie was up there with the room, and it was great. Like there was three of us around like a laptop with like the bed tracks, and we just find little like melodies and find rhythm of melodies and just kind of put words to it, because we had word ideas and song ideas, so just finding the right rhythm. Yeah.
And it's kind of fun too, because I think what sets us apart from at least other bands that I've played, and I can't speak for every other band nor the band before I was in it, but all of us write both music and lyrics, and pretty much all of us sing. So that's kind of the difficulty of adding in a new member when they have a lot of stuff to have on their plate. Shane's not only a guitar player that we needed to find; he needs a songwriter and potential lyricist and singer as well. So. That's kind of the difficulty of adding in a new member, but that being said, it's going to be really interesting to write music, because we're all very implicated in the writing.
Nice.
I think the last year was that kind of finding. I think now it's just kind of putting the pedal to the metal. Like it was difficult, in a healthy way to integrate myself. And I feel pretty a part of things now, and I think I can sort of speak for Shane that he's feeling more and more
Yeah, I mean, I feel like also we benefit from having played together, Zach and I, for like years now. So I think that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so the extension of knowing him is making your transition into the band a lot easier and
Yeah, exactly.
writing
Yeah.
and finding your place.
Yeah, because we had other ideas and other suggestions of people to try out and everything, but once we heard Shane was interested and he was like even learning songs, we didn't know he was learning songs, like, oh, he's actually learning songs, learning some of the tracks from the CD and stuff, so it was nice to know that Shane and Zach were buddies and we've known Shane from the scene. We're just like, let's just get Shane in here because they already know, or we already knew that they write music together, so it's would be a smoother transition than bringing somebody we don't know or just some random who's like, yeah, I have my buddy John who plays, like, okay, so we kind of know Shane, so it's definitely easier.
Plus, he's really good looking. So.
Yeah, and he plays for free, so you don't have to pay him.
So that was our thinking process.
Yeah.
Looks and price.
Yeah, we basically tried to replace Flo as best we could. So we had to find a good-looking, slightly tall guy with a beard who will play for free.
Doesn't quite have that German accent.
Or temper. I hope he watches this.
You'll get it.
We scrapped a few songs, and then we have one that we all came to the same conclusion, which is nice, is it feels, a couple of the stuff was explorative and it didn't really jive, like we just all sort of didn't practice it, so that goes to show that people weren't into it. And then this new song that we were playing tonight, we're all like really think that it fits kind of in the groove of what we like and what I think people will expect from Distances, but because it's two new guitar players, and lyrically it's in a different direction, so it's going to be different enough for us, but kind of in the same feel for some other people. Yeah,
it was nice when we kind of had this song down instrumentally. How much of it sounds funny, but like we all thought like this sounds like a Distances song, like it felt good that way. And even when I show other people in bands in the city, like just to record on my phone, like when we're at jams, like, man, it's like this sounds like Distances. I'm like, well, that's good. Like we all like the song, and I think even from
it's good, last, we're Distances.
Yeah, but I guess I'm not sure if we have like a certain sound. I guess I'm not sure what that means, but it's good to know that people are like, yeah, like this totally sounds like you guys, like, right? But I think even last jam, this new song like really came together because working on melodies and parts of the song themselves. We played like a few times through last jam, and we're all just like, man, that sounds sweet. Like we're excited. Like we worked out the harmonies, worked out just little things like that. And we're just like, cool. Like this song I think is done, and we're pretty excited about it. So it'll be fun to play it tonight for the first time.
I know that Shane and I, before we were in the band, like playing in our other bands, we would listen to Distances, and it's like, for us it was awesome to have a band that was like so heavy at times and so kind of aggressive instrumentally, but like so catchy, but not at the detriment of the other parts of the style. So it was cool for us to just have these like banger songs that you just like remember the chorus or you remember the bridge hook or whatever. So I think that that's something that we really try to hold on to in pretty much every song that we write, but we kind of try to stretch instrumentally what we're doing. But that's always been the bottom line, is it has to be a banger and it has to be good.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like interesting because I mean, from joining the band later on too, I felt kind of the same way. So it's kind of like this pop punk band, but with balls, you know, like with some attitude. So I think pop punk is obviously something people love and have loved forever, but lyrically, like I think people also really relate to the songs. And you want to speak on that?
Yeah, it's hard because I was never a huge lyricist in my like musical career. Like when I started playing music, I was always a kind of a instrument player. Like I was really I was a drummer, or like a bass player or something, anything like that. So I wasn't like super involved with lyrics. So coming into this band, being a vocalist, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not necessarily my job, but it's definitely something I have to bring to the table. I'm not gonna just like sing the song like that and just like wait for lyrics to come in and like, okay, cool, I'll sing this. So like making things relatable. I guess I just like wrote stuff like that I was thinking about. Like, I know like people are like, oh, I really relate to some of this stuff you're thinking about. I mean, that's like it's not what I'm going out to do.
It's not
That's
conscious.
Yeah, I just
You're just
write
writing
stuff down.
what's in your heart, and then
Exactly,
it
yeah.
comes out, and that sounds sappy, but I mean,
You know, it's true.
It's
Like,
an
that's where this
extension
stuff
of how
comes
you
like
feel.
music.
Nobody yells it,
lyrics.
so it's okay. Yells it, so it can be sappy, but it's tough. So.
But yeah, that's where that stuff's supposed to come from. It's not supposed to be this fake thing or this just because you have to do it. Like you write because you have something in your mind, or just it's kind of like therapy that way. You just writes your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings, and that kind of stuff down. And if it becomes something, that's sweet. And if someone can relate to that, then that's even better. So when I first joined this band as a vocalist, it was really cool because my dad did the same thing at my age, even younger. Like he was in his early 20s and he was singing in a band. So I remember when I played my first show at the West End with these guys, my dad was just like blown away. He's like, man, this is so cool that like I was doing the exact same thing and now you're doing it. And so even my mom was emotional about it. So like that song, I wanted to write a song, something to do with that, I guess, just because I was feeling very strong about it too. I just thought it was so personal and very it was like kind of comforting, like to know my dad was kind of doing the same thing and he could totally relate to this. And the song just came out. I remember I was writing it in that room we were like squatting in above the studio, and I was just trying to make lines work. And I remember I had this like document of just like random lines. But and I just kind of put them together, and I was even getting emotional in the recording that song because like some of the lines that we wrote, and I was getting emotional singing them. I was like, man, it's about my dad, and I don't know. It was it came out really well. I'm not sure if I even planned on writing the song. Maybe I did, but it turned out perfect. It's my favorite song on the album, and it turned out really well.
And that's kind of cool too, because like a lot of times when you're growing up, like your parents are kind of like these transcendent figureheads that kind of sit on top of you, and then as you get older, you begin to relate to them as like other human beings. So I think like that's kind of what. Yeah, because when you try to capture in that like song, like it's a pretty cool experience to be doing what your dad's doing. And
because I don't know many people that have like that are in that situation where like my dad like toured the country for like a long time. Like he was on the road for weeks and months of the year, and to know like I was playing music and I had because a lot of parents, not a lot of parents, but like there are parents out there who'd be like, if you would say, no, I want to go on tour, like I'm gonna go play music, a lot of parents are like, that, are you serious? Like you're gonna go play music, you're not gonna do anything with it. And my dad was like, do it, like go move somewhere, like anything you want to do, like do it, because it's like the best feeling in the world. There's nothing like being in a van with a bunch of dudes. There's nothing like being on stage, because it's like the best feeling. There's no other feeling like it. So having my dad like push me like that and just tell me to follow my heart that way, it's pretty awesome, pretty special feeling.
Yeah. And there's no smell like being in a van.
There's no smell.
It's funny you should say that, because Maddie's dad said the same thing. If you have to move anywhere to play music, might as well be Winnipeg.
Yeah. You're not far, Matt. You're not.
Follow your dream,
Yeah, they love me, man. They want me to stay at home as I get, my dad wants something in the fridge. He says, boyo, get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more of a guidance thing, because how should I put this? Like, yeah, it's definitely more of a guidance thing, because my dad just wants me to be happy regardless, like if I'm playing music or not. But he pushes me to do what makes me happy, and music is the thing that makes me happy. So it's never like a challenge to be like him or like make sure I do what he did. But it's definitely nice to have a guy that went through the same thing I'm going through now, to like help me with stuff. And he sat down. It's so random because he'll sit down if I'm playing guitar at home, like he'll like start randomly singing or like giving me ideas. So it's definitely a guidance thing to help me be a stronger singer, musician.
Zach opened for Bon Jovi.
I did open for Bon Jovi, yeah.
Fucking
So
way.
I peaked. I think, I'm sure these guys feel the same way. Like, the more experience you have and the more acts you open for and the more successful shows you have and stuff, obviously it's always a good feeling. I mean, sometimes you play crappy shows and it sucks, but like,
Yep.
that's, you roll with the punches. But I think for us, it's definitely like having these big opportunities that we've had in the past, and also at the same time missing out on big opportunities that we've had, I think has helped keep things kind of very realistic as far as what we're capable of, or the potential that we have, and also like helps us kind of keep grounded as far as what we want, right? Like, we're all coming from different places, all like with different backgrounds, different futures and everything, and it's at a nice place now where everybody's sort of on the same page with what we wanted. I think the band was a bit of a chore a little bit in the past, from people being on different pages and wanting different things and trying to get to different goals, but we're all on the same page now as far as what we need, and a lot of that stems from our experience in other past, usually failed bands or broken up bands, you know. So I think we've all like learned. It's like breaking up with a partner, you know. You learn what you did wrong, and you learn what you didn't like from that person and what they didn't like from you or whatever. And I think for us, for like failed projects, it's spoken to me anyways, as far as like what to expect and what to bring to the table.
Yeah, and I have a vast experience of failed projects when it comes to Port of Moral and Hope Atlantic. Like, you know, the past for me, like, you know, I got to record with Brian McTurnan. That was a pretty crazy experience for me, and you know, like hitting your pinnacle. Like, a lot of Brian McTurnan stuff is kind of my favorite as growing up as a kid. You know, like did Cave In, Hot Water Music, Strike Anywhere, Thrice, stuff like that. So I was like, this is a crazy experience. But then you kind of learn that, you know, that he's just a normal dude, and then he's like, he was pretty hard on us in the studio and stuff, and it was good. It was like all part of a growing experience, and it helped me to learn how to be like a more professional drummer, take my craft more seriously. So I think going through a lot of like the different projects that we've gone through, we've learned what not to do at being in a band, and we've also learned the good things about being in a band. And ultimately for me, like, playing music is no longer my identity. As a kid, when I was growing up, that was my biggest thing. Like, I needed for my like own sanity to be in a band playing music and going on tour all the time. But it's funny because now that I don't need that, I actually love music a lot more. It's not an idol in my life. It's just something I love doing, and if I end up in a band with 5 stinky dudes for the rest of my life playing music, awesome. If not, then whatever. But, so it does change your perspective. We don't even have a website, do we?
Yeah, we do. Our website's www.distancesmusic.com. Facebook is Distances Music. Same with our Twitter, our Instagram. We have Tumblr as well. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's Distances Music as well, if you want to find it on there.